afternoon, guys. It's 4:32 p.m. Today is Thursday. Tomorrow is Friday, right? So 39.60 in ES and 447 is important to watch. Ideally, I want to see buyers holding it above 60 and NQ 447, right? But for NQ, you can still go long above 300, right? So these levels are important, correct? And today, if you noticed, there were rotation around this level, so people are fighting to protect these levels, and ultimately buyers won this battle, right? So which is dream number in NQ is good today, right? It's important, and above all these things, buyers will continue their journey upwards. Below all these things, sellers will become active. That is the story. Sell, you can, this area for short-term buyers now important. Gold, see, gold was the one, so that didn't work out, but luckily I was out anyway, so I didn't take any shorts. But then this was the bold level that it broke, this area in the overnight, and it went to some random level 1677 or so in the overnight, and then it opened around those areas, and then suddenly somebody just bought it, and they bought it big time, and gold just went straight to 1720. So now it's a failed breakdown in gold, especially if tomorrow it closes above 1700 or 1720, then it's a failed breakdown confirmed, and then gold may rise again. Buyers are back in the business, right? So just watch gold. It's a good instrument to trade Monday onwards, not tomorrow probably, but Monday onwards. These are the dream number 434, 463, right? So, and yes, 60, right? 447 and 463 and 434 for NQ, right? 434, that's a dream number. 463 and 447 is somewhere in the middle, okay? And then Globex low, which is this area, right? And Globex high, which was this area. It's important, right? So ES 60 is important, which is this blue line, right? And you can see there was a rotation around this 60, right? But the idea was they have to hold it above 60, right? So first time in the ES, right? So I forgot to put the arrows, but today was a tough day to trade, even for me. I was not profitable in the morning. I had two failed trades, so I didn't lose a lot because I cut it fast, but I basically lose in a sense that I let go my profit. So I had this much profit, so I shorted right here of the open. See, right of the open, it was a bearish disconnect, in ES and NQ both. So here, so price was here and the AD was way down, right? So that was a bearish disconnect based short, but we were not 70% buyers, right? That was the idea. So no shorts in ES, but NQ you can play around, right? So NQ, since it went below dream number, I know most likely it will go to the next dream number, right? But the way it went down, combined with bearish disconnect, I got little bit greedy, and then I held it. And then next bar immediately it reversed. While I was watching ES, this damn thing just reversed on me, So that's why, I let go this profit. I became greedy, and then suddenly it reversed. Right? So I cut it here, right? So I didn't lose much, but I lost this profit basically. Then it went higher. Right? Then it came down again, held the dream number, all these things again went higher. So it was buyers were holding it at that point. See here also, and then AD started rising, here. So then I thought, okay, so now buyers in control, right? 506 was the key level, and so I went long here, and then price went into my favor also. So this time again, I became greedy. It's not became greedy because I was targeting this and probably this. Why? Because it failed to hold below dream numbers. It couldn't get to Globex low. In multiple attempts it held it here, dream numbers here, right? Now it is breaking out in the same candle when it was running, right? then based on this pure price action, it was breaking above this entire balance, right? I thought it will go through it, and then it just came down in the same bar, right? So I cut it. So again I lost this profit. Okay? Then I said I don't want to trade anymore, right? So I step aside. And step aside means I just pause myself, and then this thing happened suddenly, right? And then again it went down, right? And then it pulled back here. I was not supposed to trade anyway. I didn't want to trade in this moment, right? But then I saw a news that Biden got positive for COVID, and I saw this thing was hovering around this dream number and this VWAP, right? And then before that there were trap buyers right here due to this down move, right? So then I took this short here, and it was at 10:20 or so. That's where the news got in. So yes, at that time it was right around where ES was, right here, 52. Okay. So ES went above 60, couldn't hold it, came down and went through this area all the way here, right? And then it pulled back. So that was a short in ES also. So I took these shorts, and then everything was going good, right? And then suddenly it just paused here at Globex low. So that's where I had a suspicious that okay, now something is off. The way it broke down, because of the news or whatever, right? It should continue. It should not. After doing this, I have high confidence that it will go here and NQ will go toward 300, right? And then suddenly it just paused there. So I went out here, right here, and that was the real profit I got. And ES also I built out here, right here, right here. And then I didn't do anything in ES because 40 to 60 was a gray area for us to trade, right? So ES I did not take any trade after this. But NQ, NQ I was observing the moment it went higher. Then I started talking in Discord saying could be a failed breakdown, and if that is the case, there could be a balance here, and if you see a breakout, that confirms it that price wants to go towards the Globex high. So from that point onwards, it was clear cut that it wants to go higher, and you can take any of this long afterwards onwards, right? So this was the long I took it here at 420 or so, 425 or so, and then I built out here at 506. And then I did not trade it for the rest of the day. Then I just came later in the day, around maybe at this time, lunchtime, after lunch, So I took this micro long at 72 in ES, 74 right here, and then my exit was 4005, which it just touched this things. I did not even manage that trade. It was 3-point stop loss. Stop loss was 71.50, and so I took it on the way up here, and then entry was 74.75, 3-point stop, and I was looking for a moon 4004, 4005 actually, right? But anyway, it got filled right here to the dot, to the T actually. So that was the micro trade, because I usually don't trade after certain hours, right? So this way I just to play around, I just took a one micro, So but up to this point it was scary, means it was tough for all the members to even trade today. This entire area was tough to trade or tough to even read. It was a roller coaster ride. Same thing in ES. But once this failed breakdown happened, it was a clear cut. Not looking at this afterwards, but right from this moment I started talking in Discord that it's a failed breakdown. Most likely it will go towards the Globex high or potentially higher. And then around 12 o'clock, right here, somewhere, so if you go long here, right, so we talked about importance of 506 also, right, and then I said if it goes through it, then it will go more, right? So when it puts back here, this was the trade based on our discussion, importance of 506. At the same time, you can also take a trade in ES also, right here, above 60. So those were the longs, but you can't short it. You have to know the story. Remember, I said no shorts at all today, even though this was a short, but no shorts. If you stick with longs, you got rewarded. And then that's pretty much it. After that it was just ping pong going higher, and this here also, when the price was here, I said that 650 could be the high of the day, and this 4005 could be the high of the day. That was my target, and you can see it's 650 to the dot, high of the day, and then it came down, right? So this was a tough trading price action in the morning, but this was a clear area, and then you should stop trading anyway, right? One trade, and then you should not be trading in this chart. And that be all. Now internals were rising entire day. That was another hint. When the fail breakdown happened, look at internal. It started rising, right? So in momentum, look at the momentum to the upside. See that? So those are the keys you have to observe. And now let me talk about Mboxwave very quickly. I will cover it. There was only one trade for ES. So this is 5-minute chart for the ES, right? So whenever volatility is high, right, it's better to use 5-minute or higher time frame. 1 minute, a lot of false trades you will get it. So it's better to use 5-minute or higher, right? And also you have to stick with the context and levels also. If you know how to draw the levels, fine. If you don't know how to draw the levels, then you can come to my website and subscribe to the levels, either way. So but anyway, if you know the levels, then, and if you heard my regular video just right before this, right, in the same video, so you will know the importance about ES 40 and 60. So this is a 60 line, this is a 40 line. In between it was a gray area for us not to trade. Okay, so right of the open, price came to 40, right? So you can defend 40, you can go long at 40, but then you can't expect more than 60. 60 you have to bail up, and 60 you can even short, but then today's idea was 70% bias, right? As long as it is holding above 40, pretty much, right? So it doesn't make sense to short at 60, right? But you can go long at 40. So here, let's say you go long, right? Based on the level only. Mboxwave, it was a signal to short here, right? So, and based on this supply, you can't go long based on Mboxwave, right? Based on the levels, you can go long, and then you 20 points profit here, right? Then what happened? Then there is a breakout above 60, right? But there was no enough buying here, right? So you have to just hold up, right? And then suddenly, minus 16, and then it came down again, correct? And at this point, it was trying to here, it broke down below 40. Correct, but it was like first 5 minutes, right? Supply was great, correct, but then you have to wait. You can't just go with the flow, right? Remember, the context is the king. So I also discuss about in my regular video, not in the video but in Discord, that you have to wait for at least few minutes before below 40, and then you can short. This was not a few minutes, it was barely like 7 minutes below this, right? So this is contextually, this was not a short, right? Even Mboxwave based, when you see this, right, look at this, I will show you. See here, like this, right? When this thing happened and you see a supply increasing, right, this comparison comparatively, right, and then you see this buying happen here, and then immediately sell off happen, like with this big here at the bottom. See that the pace, X pace, right? The more selling came here, more selling means here also, right? And then supply also was developing at that time. See, this minus 156 was not there when the breakdown happened. So it looks like it's a valid short here, based on the Mboxwave. This is a valid short. Okay, so you can short, let's say here, right? But then if you do, only if you don't know the context, what is going on, right? And there are specific rules when you can take breakdowns based on the levels, but blindly trading this is not a good idea. You need to have some kind of levels, whether you draw it on your own or you need to read the context, right? But anyway, based on blindly following this was a short here, your stop is right here at 55, right, or so, correct? And then you take a short, correct? And then you expect the follow through, right, based on this much selling going on, right? So let's move forward. The next candle went higher like this, right? Now if you're watching this thing live, and after this candle you should know that immediately there is a failed breakdown happen here, you know. But if you wait for it to get stopped out, or you still think that, hey, it did not stop me out, maybe it will just push pull back here and then it will go down, fine, then you can hold it, right? But then if you look at here, so this buying superseded this selling, right? And this also was significant buying, compared to this. It was significant, almost equal. You should be bailing out right here, with loss. But in this process, you can miss the long also now. See. So now when this thing happened, right, you already missed the long because you didn't take the long here. See that? So now, and since you shorted it, your mind is towards the short side, so it will be difficult for you to flip and go long, right? So then you are waiting, and then triple algo right here, right? So now you are confused, right? So now you may not take this long, you may take this long, depends, but this was a long right here, right here. Why? Because it is now above my 60 line. 60 was my key line. So now price is above 60 line, right? It failed to hold below it. There was a failed breakdown. Lot of buying came in. There is no selling here. Lot of buying here, right? So this was a long right here, at 65, right? Or you can wait for price to take out all this area, 79, and if you are watching this real-time levels, then you can wait for these things, right? Or at least these things, right? And then here you take the long at 73, or maybe 80, and then that's it. The moment you took the long, price went little bit higher and then again came down, stop you out, right? Again it went down, again here, let's say you took this breakout or this pullback, right? So this pullback, triple algo again, right? You took, let's say, long here, little bit higher, and then boom, stop you out. See my point? So this was a garbage price actually, and you should not be going long at the tail end. Always, I always like pullback longs, not the tail end longs. Considering this much fighting in the morning, tail end long, it's a risky proposition. So this was the only long, and then that's it pretty much. And that'll be all for today.